All right, welcome everyone. Welcome to the middle of the night stream. So, one of the reasons, well, actually, the main reason that I am live at 2 o'clock in the morning is because, can you guys hear me? Yeah, you can. Okay. So, one of the reasons I'm live is Dayton leaves for football camp at 4. He's got to be at the school. So, of course, I tell him give me his laundry that he's bringing, and no, he threw like 3 things in the wash, but he doesn't have enough for camp, and he's got football camp till Friday. So here I am at 2 o'clock in the morning doing his laundry, and got to make sure he's ready for camp, and he has his toothbrush and everything else, his pajamas and everything you need for football camp. So yeah, so I'm up. I filled some orders, I made some candles, and here we are. So I might as well just stay awake. So that's why we're doing a live. Another thing I'm going to talk to you guys about is pretty funny, but I'll get to that in a minute. Give me a 1 if you saw tonight's festivities on Tyler Feller's channel, as well as No Thanks. If anybody has, give me a 1 if you saw it or you heard it. All right, Doodle, you were there. Sunset was there. Dude, it was crazy. Crazy. And I don't even understand why Jim will not speak to me. He won't answer my call. He ignores me. He won't answer a text. I'm like, damn. He don't like somebody questioning him. Yeah, half mom and son and yeah, I'm dumbfounded. They just let that woman go on and on and on and on. I got news for you. I think the whole case is Occam's razor. After hearing this woman, after talking to Jim, I really think it's simple as hell. I don't think that it's some big conspiracy. I don't think that it's anything other than one thing. I think Jim had originally said this, or somebody said it, that it was a drug deal. Not a drug deal. It was the people that lived there. He got involved with some fucked up people. He got involved with shady people, and in the end, they ended up killing him. So what we found out tonight, this woman called in. Somebody in chat can help me with who it is, but somebody called in to No Thanks, and I didn't listen to the whole thing. So I only watched I saw the beginning, and then I saw the last half. So I don't know who this woman was, but she was somehow connected to Kurt or connected to Dylan somehow, or she owned a bar, or she used to own a bar. And she sounded like she was missing a couple of teeth. She sounded, let's just say, I bet she looks exactly the way she sounds. Just call it a hunch. And I can't say anything about her cursing because, that's the cursing. And okay, she owns land and the bar, her son's name. Okay, so this is the other Dylan's mom. All right. So she had called in. She owns a bar. So this bar, and Jim was doing a pretty good job of questioning her in the exact way that I was thinking, because he was asking her stuff like, hey, if you're only open once a week and there are, 50 people in this town and there's 3 bars, how does anybody make money? So you kind of got the feeling, and again, I didn't see the whole thing, but you kind of got the feeling that it's a cover for a drug thing. Yes, she owns was it the saddle sore? The twisty scab, something like that. And you just sit there and you listen to her and you're like, okay, he's right though. How the fuck would anyone make money? There's no way anyone can make money 1 day a week in a bar. It's not like you're opening up a bar in New York City. So then she talked saddle sore. So then she was talking about who got arrested for meth and how Kurt's a good guy. And then whoever was in the background, again, I wasn't there, so I don't know the names, but whoever was in the background didn't know he was on a live with 2,000 people in it. But the way she was talking, it was so obvious that this was a cover and that the bar is nothing more than a cover for drug dealing. I don't know if it was money laundering. I really think it was more drug dealing. But it's in the middle of the desert. And what happens in the middle of the desert? Well, you can't grow cocoa plants, so you make meth. That's what you do. You make meth. That's why these people live in these desert towns. Now, he removed it? No shit. Man, I wish I would have known that. I would have recorded it. So, it was her son in the background. Okay. Oh, there you go. That was an accident tonight. I meant to highlight your comment and timed you out. Sorry, I didn't know until after. Who, me? Oh, I didn't even realize you did that. You hid my comment. No wonder nobody was seeing me. Okay, that was Kurt Wadsworth. Doug, how come you took down the live? It's like Breaking Bad. Seriously. He took a private, he said. Oh, he did it on accident. Aha. All right. For those yeah, a lot of people want to see it, especially because I'm talking about it. So this woman's going on, and it really got you, for me, it really got me thinking. He said, "Oh, who is Tyler or no, or Doug?" It was Troy that Ellen's son called. Okay. And hey, Rhonda. So this woman's going on. And like I said, in the desert, what do? You make meth. It's the only reason people live out there. So Jim had either Jim or Doug touched on something, and it really got me thinking. And I'm like, maybe it is really as simple as Occam's razor. And if you don't know what Occam's razor is, it really just means that the easiest and quickest path or answer is usually the right one. And to me, I'm going to venture to say that maybe Dylan found out that somebody was dealing meth, making meth. Maybe him and Kurt had a fight and he was going to out Kurt. He was going to go to the police. He maybe didn't know they were making meth and all of a sudden found out and they killed him for it. I really, in my heart of hearts, feel it's as simple as that. It's not a big conspiracy. It's not a big thing. It's as simple as that. So the other thing, welcome, Brandon. 6 months. Woohoo. Oh, you can now gift memberships. They do that on Twitch where you can buy a membership for a month for somebody. So you can do that now too on YouTube. I didn't realize that. I just turned it on. So I'm like, I started thinking maybe, just maybe. Oh, he's not alive, Ivana. I'm going to get to what Doug is editing out. So Jim originally goes on Doug's live. He's got this big information that he's going to hold, and he knew Doug was the perfect place to show it. So everyone's all excited. Doug had like 1,000 people waiting for him from Tyler's live because they went one after the other. And there were like 1,000 of us waiting to see what this big thing was, to see what Jim had, what was Jim going to drop. Now, mind you, we all just watched Jim on Tyler's for like 2 hours. I have a clip of that because I was on it. I asked Jim a question and he couldn't really answer me. he gave me some runaround BS, which I'll play it for you guys. But so Jim gets on, they finally go live. At this point, there's probably 2,000 people in Doug's live. And what's his name? Jim presents himself as, I want to know what you guys think, blase, blase. Okay. So Jim comes on, and Doug didn't know what he was going to see either. So I can't blame Doug for this. Doug was as dumbfounded as we were. So Jim comes on, and this guy calls in. What Jim told us about this guy is that he's a PI, but he's also a sex offender. I don't know, he sounded like a predator, but he was just vile. That he has a picture of Dylan from last week. He saw Dylan at an abortion rally in another state. Okay, guy. So we're all like, all right, everyone knows any creator, and I know Doug knows this because he covers a lot of cases, but there are so many times that people want, I'm going to get to that too. There's so many times that people just want their 15 minutes of fame, and it's so annoying. So this guy told Jim, or Jim told Doug. I don't remember how it went down. But again, Doug was in, like, he didn't know what the fuck was going on. He was thinking that, like, Jim was doing the right thing. Honestly, he just assumed that Jim was going to do the right thing and there was going to be some, like, solid information. So he comes on. He took the picture from a news. Oh, is that where it came from? So he comes on. Jim has already said this guy's a pedophile. The guy's just disgusting. So the guy also tells Jim that he's related to the Rounds. He's related to Dylan. Now, again, I go back to what I originally said. You're a PI. Why aren't you investigating this stuff before you bring it to a channel? Because in all fairness, as a creator, if I was Doug, I'd be pissed. Why would I be pissed? Because that's my credibility you're putting on the line. You want to ruin your credibility, that's fine. And what the feeling that I got from Doug is he was taken back, like, dude, come on. Like, really? This is what you bring me? Now, I could be wrong. Doug, tell me if I'm wrong, but that's really the impression I got from Doug. He was kind of embarrassed. He was embarrassed. He felt stupid. Like, and Jim's going on. And, I'm like, are we being punked here? Like, where's Ashton Kutcher? Is he going to pop out from somewhere? Because I feel like I'm totally being punked here. So then this guy calls in and he sounds like the predator. He sounds like a freak. He's going on and on and on. So Doug is trying to, and now mind you, Doug has 2,500 people in here. So not only does he have to save face, he doesn't want to, like, make Jim look like an asshole. That's his friend and so on and so forth. But I really felt bad for him. I did. And he was like, I just don't think the guy looks like him. And he's listening. And, when you're on camera, it's different. Because like right now, if I make face expressions, you guys can't see them. But Doug is on camera all the time. So I don't think I've ever seen Doug not on camera. In the couple of times, like, I've clicked on his channel here and there with Summer Wells. And he's always been on camera. He's not a girl like us. So I felt really bad for him. And, he can't hide his facial expressions. And you see Jim watching chat. And in chat, he's kind of like, feeding off what everyone is saying. So then, of course, you have a few people that are like, oh, yeah, it looks just like him. It looks nothing like him. Like, absolutely nothing like him. I'm going to show you guys a picture for those of you that missed it. Hold on. All right. I mean, do you think they look anything alike? I don't even see a slight resemblance. 7 months, Joe. Woo woo. I don't even see a slight resemblance. It's like one big giant reunion, everyone all waiting patiently. Big thanks and appreciation to Tyler, Doug, Jim, and thank you, Alexis. Like, seriously, like not even remotely close. But this is what Jim brings to Doug. And Doug doesn't know what to say. Literally, the man does not know what to say. He's like, I gotta save face and I gotta, be real with everybody. Like, no, I don't think this looks like him. Nope, sorry. And Jim's going, well, what do you guys think? I'm like, are you kidding me? Do you have to be like a rocket science to see that these two don't even remotely look alike? Like their mouths are different, their noses are different, their eyes are different, their necks are totally different, their chins are like there is nothing that looks alike. Exactly, Gray. There's nothing that looks alike on these two people. And I can't even believe that Jim brought this. Why would you even bring this to the public? So I was dumbfounded. And I kept looking for Ashton Kutcher to pop out. I really was. I was like, Ashton, where are you? Are you popping out somewhere? Because this is just ridiculous. So Doug is being nice and letting the guy talk and letting the guy talk and letting the guy talk. And everyone's like, Doug, just cut him off. Just cut him off. Then you had other people. I thought Doug said something about his balls dropping for a second time because of the photos before he showed. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I didn't see that, Flower. That you have to ask Doug. I don't know. But I know I was mortified because I couldn't believe that a PI brought this to the public. And I even text him. I was like, what are you doing? Like, these people look nothing alike. And he never answered me. And he hasn't answered me since. So, I mean, even the Adam's apples are different. One's got a long neck, one's got a short neck. It's mind-blowing to me. And I'm sitting there going, how does he bring this on somebody's channel? Was he trying to hurt Doug? Was he trying to make Doug look stupid? I don't know. I don't know what was going on there, but shocked that he even brought this public. So that was how the tone of Doug's night started. Doug saw, Flower, you might be right. I don't know. You might be right. Doug has most views in months with Jim on. Okay. Says it all. Okay. Are they cousins? I look nothing like Mike. No, they don't even know each other. I don't even think they're in the same state. He does. That's a good Wonder Twin. You're right. He does kind of look like a young Rob Lowe. You're right about that. I guess I see that. Kind of like Rob Lowe and who's the other one? I'll think of it eventually. But like their hair color is different. Their skin coloring's different. Like there is nothing alike. But the kicker in all this is that he's in another state at an abortion rally with blood all over him. Yeah, I'm so sure that's where this gay 19-year-old kid is. All right. Right there. It just blew me away that they even gave this guy so much time. And so much. It was probably 30 minutes this guy was on a call. So, yeah, if anybody thinks these two people look alike, you're probably in the wrong life because these two look nothing alike. He was also rude towards you in Tyler's chat when you were on panel. Don't trust him. He's a snake. Okay, so I'm going to show what happened on Tyler's panel now. So Tyler Feller, who I adore, And I've always adored Tyler from the first time I met him. Tyler was on I Tyler did a live, and Jim was talking about it, but Tyler wasn't actually on the live. Kim, who I've also known for a long time and I adore, she was hosting the live. And people in chat kept asking who, did Dylan have life insurance? Now, I don't know if this is true or not. Somebody told me that this was true, but I don't have any proof, so I'm not going to say it's definitely true. But somebody said that his mom said that he had Nevada water or something. He had access to Nevada water, and if you have access to Nevada water plant or something, it makes your property that much more. So I don't know if that's true or not. Hey, Linda. But then I went and I did some research on it. And it seems that it is $7,500 per square foot of Nevada water. And was it square? No, or an acre, 7,500 an acre, maybe, to have this water. And I started thinking, I'm wondering, and it is transferable. So if you buy land that already has water rights, thank you, I couldn't think of the word, that if you have water rights already and you buy land, then you don't have to purchase it again. But if you want to purchase it, it's $7,500 per acre. So I started thinking, is that what the 50,000 was for? Was he buying water rights? And is that why he needed the money? Was to buy these Nevada water rights? Maybe half of his property had it already and the other half didn't. Just a theory, just a thought. But if that's the case, that makes the property worth that much more. And if the property is worth that much more, who's in debt for $2,600? I'm $2.6 million. The mom, which circles this right back to the mom. Could his own mom or own family who's heavily in debt want that property? Could the family who's heavily in debt or the mom who's heavily in debt do something? Now, where did this even come from? Where would I even think of these things? Well, look at missing cases. 90% of a missing child comes back to the parents. 90%. I looked it up. 90%. Of that 90%, and this is a wild statistic, of that 90%, 60% of that 90 is the mother killing the child. I would have swore it was the opposite. I would have swore that it was the other way, that the father was the killer. No, mothers kill kids way more than fathers. In 1988, there was a study done, and the statistic I just gave you can look up on Google. But I looked up another study, which was a peer-reviewed study, but it was old. It was from 1988. And in 1988, even then, it was out of every 1,000, 100 and I think it was 193 women killed their kids and 153 men killed their kids. So that's when I really started thinking like, this might mean something here. Okay, you don't always have water or mineral rights to property. No, you don't. In order for you to get Nevada water rights, it's $7,500. I think it was $7,500 an acre is how much it would cost today to get, welcome, Rob, to get water rights. So I'm sitting there thinking like, maybe the person that told me this, maybe she's onto something with this water rights stuff. Like I didn't even think of that. So is it possible Dylan was buying more acreage from the guy that, see, there you go. Then it could be for the water rights. Maybe that's why he needed to borrow the 50,000. Hey, keep it real. Maybe that's why he needed to borrow the 50,000, because 7,500 per acre. I mean, I don't know why you need, how much water you need, but the mom, according to the person that told me, the mom said that he has water rights. So when did he get them? That would be an avenue for Jim to go down. That would be way more relevant than some of the crap that I've heard tonight. Was his, with his mom saying on Utah or something, on the Utah, some podcast, the mom, and I asked her for the clip, her mom had said that he had water rights. Okay. Did he get water rights with the 50 grand, which is why he doesn't have it? Did the 50 grand go for something else? Was he in a drug debt? Was he lending money to somebody? Was anything? Did they say if he didn't give him 50 grand, he was going to, he was going to die, and they ended up killing him anyway? Who knows? But a lot of water in the desert to grow. I just really keep coming back to that. I wonder if these water rights have anything to do with it, and in turn, does his mom. And I hate to put her out there like that, because it is a missing mother. I mean, she does have a missing child. But when you hear, Jim talk about how much the mom owes and everything else, I kind of started thinking. And then, like I said, someone came to me with these water rights stuff. And when I looked into it, I was like, that's a good possibility. So another thing people are asking is, did he have a life insurance policy? Coming back to the mom. Did he have a life insurance policy? Well, Jim can't answer that. So let me show you how this went down on Tyler's channel. Someone asked, did you look for life insurance, or does he have a life insurance policy? Now, I said to Tyler, my absolute first thought would, as a PI, would be start internally. Now, I don't want to say too much, because then it's going to ruin what, like, you don't need to watch it because I'm re-saying it. So hold on. Let me pull it up. Oh. All right. I am at the very end. Hold on. Yep.
Jim, y'all take care.
Thank you, Repo Guy. Hey, Laura, how are you?
Hey, how are you guys?
Good. I wanted to make sure I got you on before Jim had to leave. So I hated that I had to cut him off, but
because it's Tyler's channel, I had to switch into professional mode. So there's no cursing. But
okay,
Jim, you said something that triggered me, and I'm going to explain why. So you tout yourself as a professional. You say that you have a successful career, correct? Okay.
Yes,
now
I
know PIs are not policemen, and I know that PIs do not do things the way cops do things. However, statistically speaking, out of 1,000 people, 1,000 murders, 193 of those murders are by mothers. In kidnappings and abductions, Statistically, from the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children, 90% of kidnappings and abductions are internal. And 60% of that 90% comes from mothers. Therefore, why wouldn't you start internally and find out if there was life insurance? You're a PI. So I can't understand, is that, and this is a question, I'm not doubting you, it's actually a question. Is it because they paid you immediately that you didn't look into them? Because statistically, her name's Kim. The 90% chance that this is on Tyler Feller's channel. They did it, and you looked into everything else from the mom. I would think that you would have looked into that from the mom and that angle of it. So my question to you is, why wouldn't you?
Boy, you got to love the backhanded strike there, but I like it, you know, because you got all your money up front. I have never had a case in almost 7 years where I haven't gotten all my money up front. And that's just the way I do business, because I don't want anybody to think at $100 an hour, I'm towing the line and taking phone calls and droning the family out. You pay me one lump sum and I got to get it over as quick as possible. The reason I don't do that, and the reason that I didn't look into the statistics that you were involved in and the things that you were that you're saying, those type of statistics, is because I had the way I wanted to do it. And while in sports or anything else, it might be best to do things statistically, I was locked on to a couple of people that I thought I would be able to cross off the list very, very fast. I'm going to probably go with a bloody guy that I need to talk to coming out of the desert, talking to this young man with a massive criminal record, felonies and warrants. I'm probably going to want to talk to him faster and more recent, especially with a $5,000 bounty, than I am what the statistics say. Then once he tells me this guy's gay, which is Kurt Wadsworth, that's where it first came from, Chase, then I'm probably going to want to tell the parents about this.
Oh, that's another thing I don't want to forget. On No Thanks, this woman told us that Kurt has 18 women that he claims he's married to in the Philippines. So to me, that just sounded like it was a cover up for people not wanting to know he's really gay. So I don't, that's another thing. Was he killed by Kurt or by, something about he was going to tell everybody that Kurt was really gay? That's a reason that people kill. Then it goes back to a hate crime, and then him being gay actually matters. So when I heard that, Kurt is saying that he's got 18, wives in the Philippines, made me think, well, that's a definite cover up.
Significant others. I had a total of maybe 8 full days on this with everybody, 6 to 8 full days. The first 4.
Notice he never answered my question.
5 days of this whole thing, it was only me and the grandparents. And they wanted me to look at some things that the parents hadn't looked at. So the one aspect of this where you may be right is, I'll tell you what, I learn every day in this business. From now on, that will be the first question I ask. But you got to understand, I've got grandparents and parents right there. I didn't want to say the first thing off the bat, did you kill your kids? So I need to know if you have life insurance policies. So what I did, look at what they did to me when I told them I thought their son was a homosexual. They got rid of me. Could you imagine if I would have asked them if they were the reason he was dead because they had insurance? But that's an excellent question. That's something I will do from now on. And I think you're 100% right. But don't think it's because I got the money up front.
No, I was asking you that, though, because I'm not a PI. I don't know how it works. But, if someone pays you immediately, like I'm sure you do I know you do consultations and stuff. So my feeling is, would that be something that is asked in consultation before they pay you? Did they automatically pay you? Like in my mind, it's almost shady if they didn't tell you everything. If you didn't ask everything, that's not their fault. But if they didn't tell you everything right off the bat, only because I've seen so many missing cases, so many missing kids, and so many times it falls back to the parents.
Yeah.
Not every time, but a lot of times. So
the first 3 or 4 days, my instructions were not even to tell the mom and dad that part of the family hired me. So no, you know what I mean? So no, I didn't. But from now on, I can make sure that I will. But just so that people know, in almost 7 years, with the exception of one case, every case I've been involved in has been solved. Even if I'm not the one that pulled him out of the river, Rebecca Barsotti, Lori Cockrell, Gloria Alvarado, Anthony Smith. I mean, I can go on, and those aren't even the cases that were recovering of things like somebody's dog or their RV or a Super Bowl ring. I've done those as well. So while I admit everything in this thing is a learning curve to me, and he can bend on the time a little bit because this is important. I don't want people running from this. I appreciate everything that these people ask me, and it's very easy to armchair quarterback. I'm used to this in sports. Why didn't you do, Jim? You played college football. Why didn't you do this? But you know, the people that usually ask those questions are the ones that have never done it themselves. And that's okay. I'm used to that. And I've said on these channels before, which has got me in trouble with this community. And this lady is very good at what she does. I've been on her show. We've talked off the air even before I was on her show. She has a very successful business. By the way, if I wanted to get a candle that didn't make my cats or...
And I actually thought that was very nice of him to say all those things about me. I really do.
Dog sneeze, what would I go with?
You can go with anything. None of my candles they're all allergen free. So you have nothing to worry about.
So what I'm telling you people is, listen, I don't have all the answers. All I know, and what I tell the families in my consultation, if that's what you want to call them, is there's about 4 or 5 things I could do for you that the cops can't. I can go to areas that they can't because they have a jurisdiction. You will give me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you will always have somebody. I will work on the case until it's done. I will never, ever quit, and I will never lie to you. If that's not enough, then I'm not for them. And if they don't like the way I'm saying it, then I'm not for them. And I've lost cases because of that. So I don't know. You know, it is what it is. I appreciate all the questions. I appreciate the opportunity. Now, I am going to get in my car and I'm going to drive all the way to Southern California here in about the next 3 minutes.
And that was pretty much it. But I don't know how a PI would not start internally. But I don't know if most PIs don't start internally, if it's a cop thing, like, because that's what I've studied. Like, that's what I know. I haven't studied from a PI perspective. I've only studied from a cop perspective. So, or, you know, criminal investigation perspective. I just can't imagine not looking at the family first. I got a funny story about that too, Kimberly, today. I'll tell that in a couple when I'm done. And I just don't know. I can't imagine not starting with the family. So all I meant was, when I said about people, you know, about getting paid first, like, in a consultation, did they pay you immediately? Do they ask questions? Do you ask questions? Like, do you get a feeling about it? I just don't know how it works. And that's all I was saying. I wasn't calling them out on getting paid. I was just asking. Hey, Janie. I was told it can damage the liver. Then you just don't order a candle with peppermint. That's all. I felt like Dillenberg's mom seemed to be defending. Oh, she definitely was. Not in a firm way, like in a fear way. And that's possible too. I mean, let me tell you, I could tell you this from my ex. There are some shady people who are involved with meth. And I mean shady. I mean, think about it. They're smoking or shooting battery acid. What do you think's going to happen to their brains? And I also wonder, this is where I wonder if Jim got this wrong. But as a recovering drug addict, this is where my mind goes. I totally agree with your call out, but one thing to consider, stats, they only represent children under age 18 living at home. Dylan was 19. someone else, someone in chat said that too, that's more kids. Thank you, Pam. That's more kids they're talking about, not adults. So I didn't know. So thank you for that, though. It's still a crazy statistic. So here's what I do know about drugs and stuff, especially being out in the middle of the desert. This militia that Jim talks about, I wonder if it's to protect meth labs. I don't know if Jim has come across meth labs. I know that these people talk about it, but where would grifters be? Like, where would meth heads be? Near meth labs. Where would grifters hang out? Meth grifters. Where would they hang out? Meth labs. Around meth labs. So it makes me think if this militia was just protecting the meth labs in the area. And that's something that I haven't really heard him talk about much. I haven't, I heard about the militia to protect the croplands, but I don't think so. I'm starting to think that they were protecting meth labs and something went wrong. And it would not surprise me if a meth lab blew up and that's what killed Dylan. I'm not saying he was doing meth, but could have been, one of the guys that got paid to protect it or something. And Jim's on this one-way path of it being protecting the land. But the more I sat back and I thought about it, they're not protecting land, they're protecting meth labs. And once you open Pandora's box, like maybe Chase's meth lab blew up and that's why he was bloody and he had no shoes on. Very possible that the meth lab blew up or something blew up. He got burned or he had to leave, ran out before he could grab his shoes. I mean, that's what's done in these meth labs. That's what happens in these meth labs. And I don't know if anyone has told Jim, yeah, there was some stuff going on in the area. There was stuff that, there was something blew up. But I kind of think that maybe he died in a meth lab blow up. Maybe. You need water from meth labs. Okay. They already found one dead body during the first week in the investigation, a 40-something-year-old man. See? I might be right. No, I don't think it's trafficking at all. The barefoot walking down the street could beat up. He may not have been beat up. He could have been in a meth lab that blew up. And maybe, just maybe, I'm really throwing out hypotheses, but maybe, just maybe, Dylan was supposed to be protecting this meth lab when it blew up, and that's why they killed him, or he was in the wrong place at the wrong time and the meth lab blew up and they had to do something, or they were going to find out it was a meth lab. It's just that theory kind of goes into everything that you see, like everything you hear with the people. Wadsworth Brothers also run the Cowboy Grill. Yeah, it's all covers. If I was to put money on anything, it would be the Wadsworth family's controlling the local drug trade. Oh, I'll go with that. I should totally be a PI. I just know a lot of bad things. No, seriously though. And I don't know, after hearing tonight, everyone's on this path about protecting the farms. No, I don't think so. Why is there an airport in Lucerne drug? Well, a lot of small places have an airport, especially if it's farming. But I think Jim or somebody needs to, or anybody that's in contact with people there, focus more on the meth labs. And the FBI, I have a feeling, probably knows there's meth labs. But meth labs are like bombs. Like you can't, FBI can't just go knocking on doors, you know? They can't just go knocking on a meth lab door. You know, you have to be in full gear like a bomb. It's the last place you'd want to farm. I agree. I don't know if, like, here's the thing, Starry. If he was already involved with Kurt, then he knew what was going on. He knew about these meth labs. If he's part of this militia, he knows about these meth labs. If he is looking over this militia, he knows about these meth labs. Now, someone said this in Tyler's chat, and I do have to agree. Meth can make you psychotic, but it can also make you euphoric sexually. And you can be totally normal doing meth. I've seen it. You could be fat doing meth. You can not lose your teeth doing meth. There's a lot of stuff you can do where people wouldn't even know you were on meth. But sexually, it is euphoric. It can be euphoric. So all I keep coming back to is meth labs. I don't know if Dylan was on it or not. Oh, absolutely. They can get ingredients to make it 100%. And here's the perfect opportunity. It's in the middle of the desert. If it wasn't for social media, do you think the FBI would be involved? Probably not. Hey, Denise, do you think that the FBI, or it would be as big as it is? They probably thought just another guy in the desert. I mean, there's dead people in the desert all day. So, I sit back and I do some thinking, and I'm like, you know what? It all makes perfect sense. It just makes perfect sense that this militia was actually watching out for the meth labs. And the meth labs can be funded by farmers. And, maybe, just maybe, and I don't know if we'll ever find this out, even if, someone gets arrested. But if it's that many acres, maybe there's a meth lab on Dylan's property. Or maybe there was a meth lab on Dylan's property. Maybe there was a meth lab where Dylan had to take off his shoes for whatever reason. So I gotta wonder, I just have to wonder if that's what really was going on. He has uncovered some things that have kept the discussions and their story alive in many ways, along with the YouTube channels having them on and presented their own theories. Okay. After intro tonight, I'm not sure if the Wadsworth brothers are in that militia. Chase maybe is, but Troy probably passed out 20 minutes after getting off the phone. How are you going to grow crops with salt water? The bar lady even said it's very hard to grow stuff there. The water is nothing but salt there. Well, you can grow meth. I mean, you can make meth. Patrolling at 4 a.m. doing rounds fits in watching meth. They're not, like, again, that's why I wish Jim would answer my calls, but he won't, because I haven't heard anybody. And I can't say I watched too many people, but I have watched Doug tonight and a little bit last night, and I've watched Tyler on this case. And I don't know which one of you guys got me down this damn rabbit hole. And I watched a couple of other people, but nobody has talked about that they were protecting meth labs. I haven't heard anybody mention it. And after hearing that woman tonight, it just really solidified it for me. Like, this is meth labs. They were running a militia to protect the meth labs. Something happened with the meth labs. They blew up, or one blew up, or someone was being blackmailed, which is my other theory, that maybe someone, hey, Tinker, maybe somebody was blackmailing him because a meth lab blew up on his property, maybe it was his fault a meth lab blew up. Maybe the reason it blew up was because of something Dylan did. Dylan had to come up with money. I mean, once you're in the drug trade, anything goes, anything. Maybe it was an accident. You know, I don't know, but I just keep coming back to the meth thing. How much do you think the FBI and Elliot? Oh, I think they know a lot. Especially if it's drugs. If it's drugs, they know. But they may not know where the labs are. You know, if you have property of 600 acres, there's not a sign that says meth lab here. I wonder if Dylan had taps on his boots. They could cause a spark. Oh, good point, Linda. Good point. So what Linda's saying is when you're in a meth lab, you have to be super careful. I have never been in a meth lab, but I have been around people making meth long time ago. But it wasn't considered like a meth lab. It was just, you know, home guys making it. But you couldn't have any kind of metal. You couldn't have, obviously, you can't have a lighter or anything. You can't have anything that's going to cause a spark. Boots, a lot of times, have metal bottoms. So what Linda is saying is if, you know, he may have taken off his shoes to step in a meth lab, because if it created a spark, and the littlest thing can cause a spark and blow the whole damn thing up. So if you have a spark, then it could blow it up. So Linda might be right. If he had metal on the bottom of his shoes, that would explain why he didn't have shoes on if he stepped in a meth lab. The charges for Wadsworth trafficking meth say it's all and not speculation. All right, the charges the Wadsworth brothers have for trafficking meth say it all. And I agree with that. Bust a can of biscuits. Eventually, no, FBI doesn't ever have to release anything. They can if they want to. I've just watched TV. No, Linda, you're right, though. You are right about that. I never thought of that. But if he had like Timberlands or something, they may not have had a rubber sole. Meth lab here. But yeah, the littlest thing. And if you ever, even on TV, if you even watch like, you know, like cops or something go in a meth lab, they're like they're dressed like there's a bomb about to go off. Meth labs could be mobile. I don't know. That's kind of dangerous to make a meth lab mobile, though. It's very dangerous. I mean, when I tell you, like, the littlest thing can spark it, and it's like a domino effect. The whole thing blows up. Those trails up there look like they blew up. Yeah, they do. When I was looking for a cover photo tonight, I know exactly what you're talking about, too. But yeah, I'm pretty convinced. Hang on. I got to run the dryer. Hang on 1 second. All right. Sorry about that. Hey, proud Aussie. It was a lab explosion and he was injured. Boots off. Where's his body? Well, that could be one of two things. And the reason why I say it, I come back to Chase solving meth crimes while doing laundry. And I got to wake Dayton soon and cook him breakfast. We got to be at the school at 4. After hearing this woman tonight, the meth charges, then I come back to Chase and I keep thinking about Chase. Why would Chase be in the middle of the desert with no shoes and bloody and hitchhiking, no less? Why? The only reason that I can think of, Could have been that he had a fight, but more realistically, he was probably in a meth lab blow up. And again, somehow Dylan's connected to all this, and nobody's saying anything, maybe because they're scared. Where's all the money? Well, who knows? People could be doing them. I don't know. But meth heads, and again, meth heads are not going to hang out in the middle of the desert unless there's meth there. They're just not. It's not going to happen. There's no reason for them to hang out in the middle of the desert if there's no meth for them to get. And whoever said it before, I'm pretty sure that whoever called in tonight, the woman that called in tonight, is scared. They should hire you on. Thank you, Southern Gal. I'm pretty intuitive. I mean, that sound like an asshole to toot my own horn, but I'm usually pretty good with this stuff. I should have been a detective. Honestly, I really should have. That's why I play one on TV. They have to be meth or something, because what else that's what I'm saying. You could grow pot in the desert, but pot you wouldn't have whatchamacallit. You wouldn't have meth heads hanging out where they grow pot. You just wouldn't. Meth heads hang out where there's meth. Maybe here's another thing. Here's another scenario. Just a scenario. It's possible that Dylan was supposed to be watching this one meth lab and didn't, and it got robbed or something happened and they got pissed and they killed him. That's a big possibility too. But I'm convinced the meth is involved. I'm convinced that there's meth labs involved, and Jim's wrong about the farming stuff. No, it's all about the meth labs. Making meth out in the middle of the desert in campers. See, that's another thing. The FBI, if they know that it's meth, they would steer clear until they have all the proper channels and all the proper gear before they went in those areas. I don't know where Kurt lives. There was a fire this week, wasn't there? I'm not sure. Was there? And if a meth lab blew up, he could have burned and died in it. Have you guys ever seen pictures of what happens at a meth lab? Oof. It's bad. And it's the middle of the desert. What if they weren't stopping, stealing, and protecting the labs? That's what I'm saying. It could be anything. Thank you, Joseph. Can someone get rid of that fake gray? CAK was our neighbor in Little Arkansas? What's CAK? Welcome, Savager. What's CAK? I don't know what CAK is. Oh. So that was my big update of what I had for you guys tonight. Just looks like another young cowboy, a little more tougher than Dylan. Thank you, Deanna. Sounds like Kurt lives right by this. Oh, that's what I wanted to look up real quick. Hold on. Exactly, Linda. That's what I'm saying. Thank God I've never seen one in person, but they're pretty intense. And the smell, they said, could fuck you up forever. All right. Okay. I'm looking in Monticello. There have been a lot of drug busts, a lot of meth busts in Monticello. Now, let me make sure I'm in the right Monticello. It's not much different, Joseph. Is this Monticello in Nevada or Utah? Where's Monticello? Oh, Montello. All right. Where is it, though? Where is Montello? Nevada. That's what I thought. Oh, it's Elko. All right. Okay, guess what? The meth head capital of Nevada is Silver Springs. Silver Springs, Osino, Ryden, and Montello are the biggest meth areas up there. 2010 meth labs busted. 2022 meth labs busted. And I'm just doing a quick Google search. Meth seizures. Meth lab burned down by Story County, Nevada. Yeah, so it's one of the biggest. Recognizing a meth house. Yeah, I don't think these meth houses are going to be in plain sight, though. Could also be why Dylan didn't have an animal, because you don't want to have an animal around meth when you're making meth. Yeah, but you know what, Janie? What did you need cash for? If there's nothing in the area to buy, what do you really need cash for? Think about it. To invest in manufacturing, double his money. That's possible. You know, Dylan looks all innocent, but he could be in some heavy shit. And running meth is no joke. He did need $50,000 that nobody can find. Must say the land was too expensive for Dylan, so him and his partner to buy the Utah property. Southern Gal, it really does make sense. It really just hit me tonight after hearing the phone call. It all just kind of came together. But you'll see. Somebody else will say what I'm saying and get 100 million views and like a million super chats. You'll see. Happens all the time. Oh, hold on. But that's interesting, though, that it's that big of an area. It's that big of a drug area, meth area. I didn't know it was that big, that they are the meth head capital. Okay. Meth and heroin seizures jump in Elko according to 2021 crime summary. 10,440 grams of meth were seized in 2021, and that was up 174%. Seizures of cocaine and other drugs were only a fraction. Meth and heroin numbers from last year were much higher than 2020. Believes drug use in the region has remained fairly steady. The amount of drugs seized and arrest can vary significantly. All right, let me take a look. Were there any fires in all right. Well, this is interesting. 229 Douglas Avenue, Montel. Oh, that's Wisconsin. I don't know. I am going to look into it more. Maybe Dylan and Kurt. Maybe Dylan met Kurt online and he lured him to Utah. Nah, I don't think so. But I think Dylan was involved in this meth just as much. The more I think about it, I really do. Because everyone's saying you can't grow farm there. You can't do more stuff there. So where's he getting this money from? Well, it would make sense if he's dealing meth or he'd making meth. Yeah, grandparents gave Dylan $50K, but we don't know why. And that's a big thing. Why? 12-year-old lookout boy could have drove Dylan's truck back from somewhere. That's true, too. He didn't spend that much time at his farm. So that's the thing. Without talking to the grandfather or getting more information from the grandfather, I don't know if he had, if he wasn't involved and he was watching out for it. Was he a big meth dealer? Was he a big meth guy? Maybe he was, the kingpin. Maybe he was the one that, I don't know. I don't have enough information on it because nobody has gone down that road yet. Everyone's focused on all this other stuff when they need to focus on the meth labs and what part Dylan actually played in it. But I don't know if anyone can find out, because if I was running a meth lab, I'm not going to tell anyone about it, especially if that's how he died. I read somewhere that the money was going to be used to buy more land. The land that's next to the grain shed. I don't know. I mean, maybe that's what he told his grandparents, but I don't know. I don't know Dylan as a person, so it's really hard to speculate. He took showers at Kurt. Maybe his house was a meth lab. Maybe his trailer was really a meth lab. But then again, I think the FBI would know that already. Goodbye, Jerry. I've got to get off in a minute anyway. I got to wake up Dayton and make him breakfast. Who won the grain shed? I don't know. But I got to tell you guys what happened this morning. And I'll touch back on this tomorrow, I promise. But I got to tell you guys what happened this morning. So Phoenix is tired of riding his bike. His ankle makes him not 100% ready for the road, for driving. So he wanted to get a scooter. So I told him, all right, find one that you like. And he's been saving his money. He got a job. He's been saving his money as X amount that he's, a couple $1,000s he's going to spend on a scooter. Okay. So we drive all the way to Huntsville. It's like a half hour away. We have to go to this place. Now, I'm in sales. Nobody is going to bullshit me with some stupid numbers. Nobody's going to bullshit me with, some sales pitch. Been there, done that, seen it all. So Phoenix happens to find a scooter. It's like $2,100. Okay. Figure with tax, title, license, probably like 25. He has 28 to spend. So we figure it's like perfect. He's excited. All right. We go to sit down. The guy shows us a number of like $4,500. Are you out of your fucking mind, dude? So he's saying that it's going to cost this and it's going to cost this. I said, yeah, no, that's not happening. So I let him do his little spiel. And this is the finance guy. And I said, no, we're paying cash. So we can do better than that. So within the first 10 minutes of bargaining, he wipes off $1,000. Okay, so now we're down to like $3,900. I know that we can get down to about $2,500. So the bike is $21. So now I never bought a motorcycle before though, so I wasn't totally sure if I was right, but I was going to try anyway. And I'm like, the guy's, all right, give me a minute, give us a minute. All right. Comes back. He's doing some hard ass trying to sell. Well, you're going to have to pay this. You're going to have to pay that. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, do you think I'm fucking stupid? Like, are you playing me because I'm a female? Because bitch, you got the wrong one. I didn't say that, but this is what's going through my mind. No, it was a Honda Nova, something like that. But it's only, if you buy it brand new, it's $1,800. This had 100 miles on it. They wanted 2,100. So then he's telling me how, well, they got to pay for this, they got to pay for that. And I said, but you're not paying for that. So then I asked him a couple of questions and he gave me the answers that I was looking for to prove that he's scamming us. So I said, all right, you know what? I'm going to do some research because I haven't researched this and I'll get back to you. So he's like, well, hold on a second. Let me see how good I can do this. Okay. So he comes back $2,900. So now we're like 2,000 off within 20 minutes. So he comes back $2,900. He asks me a question. I ask him a question. He gives me an answer and I rebut him. I said, all right, so while you guys were in the back, I happen to look. This bike brand new is $1,800. You're selling a used one for $2,100. Tell me how that's possible. So he's like, well, we had to do this. I was like, the bike has less than 100 miles on it. You didn't have to do anything to it. So, well, that's why I'm able to give you this great price, blah, blah, blah. So then he had said that, I said, why'd somebody trade it in this young, this new, if it's brand new? So he says, well, the girl took home 2 bikes and she only wanted, so you didn't have to ship it from another place because he gave his whole song and dance. You got to pay for freight. So I didn't say that to him, but I was thinking it to myself. I'm like, dude, you just blew it. So I said to him, okay. And he's like, if you buy it brand new, you got to pay for this, that, and this. I said, all right. I said, I'm still going to do some research. I said, but by the way, we're paying cash, $2,700 on the spot right now, cash. He's like, can't do it. I said, you know what? Have a wonderful day. And he was mad. And I'm sitting there going, do I look like sucker on my head? You should have known in the first 10 minutes that I knew what the fuck I was doing when we come to bargaining and sales. I mean, I was giving him all the right answers, all the right questions, and he should have known. But he was just running his mouth. Yeah, it wasn't even our sales guy was great. It was the finance guy who came over. He was the closer. It was 110. He was the closer, and he wasn't bad, but you can't. Sorry, I'm too good at sales. Not gonna happen. And I couldn't believe how bad he played me. He tried to play me for a sucker, and they got so mad when I said no thanks. We'll think about this. But I couldn't believe that he didn't take 27. Like, even that's higher, but I would have done 27. But even and I'm glad Phoenix didn't say anything and just let me do my thing. But I just couldn't believe you're going to take a $4,100 bike and you're going to turn it around and tell me it's $4,700 because you have to pay for X, Y, and Z. Do I look fucking dumb to you? Oh, I was so mad. So mad. Welcome, Jesus. I was like, wow. So then I called my friend Will when he left. I said, Will, you ever bought a motorcycle? He's like, I bought a few. I said, are there all these charges on it? He's like, no, the guy was trying to rob you. I said, thank you. So then Phoenix found a place in Tennessee that has the bike, and we wanted out the door price. And he said it would be about $2,600. I said, that's what I thought. And this guy wouldn't even take it. Bitch, you're not making $2,000. Like, get the fuck out of here. I was so mad. I know they are overpriced, but I was just so mad. Like, don't play me for a sucker. If any kind of salesman can tell another salesperson, like, back up, and I was like, on the way home, I'm like, Fees, I can't believe you try to play me like that. I really can't believe you try to fucking play me like that. Like, wow, just wow. I was so mad. I was laughing. I was mad. I was like, you got the wrong one there, Skippy. Oh, have you really? Yeah. So then Phoenix on the way home was looking at reviews, and this place is like known for overcharging. Like, I don't know why anybody would buy anything there. And he's like, oh, yeah, here's another thing. He's like, oh, it's going to go fast if you think about it. I understand that's an old line. I mean, I have that on my candle site, only one left. Or, buy it now because that's an old sales trick. So, hey, Kim, so I can live with that part. But I should have said to him, well, it's been here for 45 days already. So obviously, and you only have one. So obviously, you're not trying to get rid of it that easy. It was crazy. I think that's where we look, Tracy. I really do. I think that's the place. I know it was a Cycle World in Tennessee. It was in East Tennessee. I don't know if Gadsden's in East Tennessee. Extra was for under. Oh my God, it was ridiculous. I couldn't believe how much they were asking. I didn't I liked the sales guy. I didn't even mind if to pay the $2,700 or $2,600. Like, I wouldn't have mind paying a little more, but no. These guys were I could not believe they came at us with like $4,500 or $4,700. I was like, wow, they are really fucking losing it. Cop PI's cheaters, criminal investigation. Real PIs, it's missing person, a runaway or missing object. That's the difference. All right, well, hold on. Cop PI's cheaters, a criminal investigation. Regular PIs, it's missing person or runaway. Good morning, Mo. I got to get off in a minute. I literally have 6 minutes left. And I got to get dating up. No, I didn't, Kim. Oh, you put in an order? I haven't even looked tonight. I was making candles. I was filling other orders. I made Tyler a candle. Some scooters you can. No, I wouldn't do that. He wants a real scooter. Alabama, about hour and a half. Oh, are you? Yeah, this was like the heart of Huntsville. Like all the way down Memorial. I was like, oh. Transportation was going to explain Walmart bikes are marked up. Are they really, Toy? I didn't know that. I gotta get my bike fixed. Where do I go check out? Oh, Energy. Hold on, let me give you the link. Can someone drop a candle link, please? I got new scents coming in tomorrow too. I gotta make put on the site. I'm so late. Yes, you are very late. Hold on, I'll get you the link. Ta-da! I have to actually update it on my my description page. I haven't even updated it yet. Oh. But there, don't forget, all candles is 24% off until July 4th. iLabs due to ease of getting Mexican high grade. You guys will come up with 120 or so bucks for a bike, but 260 is out of reach. Good night, Deanna. I know I haven't been live in 2 days. Did you get your new? Oh, yeah, it's done. I'm really happy with the Wonder Twin. Last night I was up till 4:30 in the morning fixing the subscriptions with the place that I'm getting the subscription through. And it's so funny because he was great. He set it all up for me because it wasn't working. He set it all up for me. No, he doesn't have one yet. He's getting one. And I didn't have to do anything. I just sat there and sent him GIFs. And he set it all up. Kim, how you feeling? I got to make some coffee too. Chase the chemical engineering genius. Oh, is he? Chakra? Is he really? See, that's another thing. Like, what does Chase do? Like, what do these people do? How do they earn a living? Should I didn't know it's not 1999? What do you mean? Oh. I really think Jim's going down the wrong path and it's right in front of him. And nobody is going down there. And I mean, for obvious reasons. You don't fuck with meth labs. Hell no. It's a dangerous game. Yeah, I'm telling you, I don't think he was barefoot I don't think that he was barefoot because he got into a fight or lost his shoes. I'm telling you, if he was bloody, a meth lab blew up and something is up with it. It might be why he lied to his mom. Why he didn't tell his mom. It's all to do with the meth labs. They manufacture meth. This is all tied to meth labs. Forget the farms. Nobody cares about the farms. This is all tied to the meth ring. And now, who's the leader of it? I have no idea. Who's the head of it? I have no idea. It could be Dylan for all we know. Who knows? And I don't want to bash him or anything, but he could be the ringleader. I mean, I doubt it, but you just never know. Dylan, here's the other thing. There could be a whole nother side of Dylan that we don't know. There could be a whole, exactly. He was missing for 3 days. There could be a whole separate side of him, and we have no idea who he is. He could be this drug kingpin. He could be this big thing. We just don't know. And, you know, that's another thing I've noticed. Where's everybody talking about Dylan's personality? I haven't seen. But granted, I am newer to this case. I mean, I've only been on it about a week and a half. Welcome, Sandy. I'm only on it about a week and a half, so I can't say for sure. But how come I don't hear any friends talking about how wonderful Dylan was? He had this personality. He had that personality. He was this, and this. I don't know. I haven't heard it in every interview. I haven't heard anybody talking about it. Am I wrong? I mean, am I wrong about it? Did I just maybe miss it? I mean, I don't think I have, but hey, I won't say I didn't. For a lot about his passion from yeah, but that's it. But I'm saying, where's his personality? Like, if I died tomorrow, they would say, you know, oh, she had a zest for life. She, you know, had a potty mouth. She, you know what I'm saying? Like, she would give you her last dollar, but, you know, if you fucked her over, she would stay. Like, personality traits. That I haven't heard any personality traits about him. And nobody, you know, that this is what pissed me off about Jim is that, you know, Jim, you're running your mouth about X, Y, and Z, but I don't hear you saying anything like, give me info on Dylan. Tell me who Dylan was as a person. Tell me what made Dylan tick. Tell that kind of stuff. And I haven't heard anybody talk about it. Need to interview JD. Who's JD? I'm bad at initials. Totally bad. Johnny Depp? Oh, his friend JD. He lives in Idaho. Yeah, I'm going to have to get a hold of some of these people because I do. Well, I know that one guy, his best friend or whatever. But it's, you know, I feel like that everybody is too focused on petty bullshit. Everyone's too focused on meaningless shit that they're not getting to the real stuff. Like someone said before, like Jim has tunnel vision, and he does. He's too focused on nonsense and bullshit when there's big stuff to find. Like there is big stuff to find. And nobody's finding it. But I do have to shut down. I got to go get Dayton up, make sure he's packed, and make him breakfast. Because then he's off to camp for 48 hours. Woo-hoo! And then next week, he's gone for a whole week. Yes. Yes. So that's what I'm saying. No personality traits. I know that he had no friends. How do you have no friends? That's another thing. How do you have no friends? Let's not Wonder Twin. How do you have no friends? A 19-year-old cute kid? How do you have no friends? What would cause people not to want to be his friend? That is the answer that I want to know. I could see why maybe he never had a girlfriend because he's gay. I get that. But how do you have no friends? You're 19 years old. You know who has no friends? Drug addicts have no friends. And I also think that he's more invested in the drug trade because his mom won't admit that that's who his friends are, that his friends are those type of people. So think about this, though, because I'm telling you, the stuff ran in my mind. Think about it. And I'll see you guys tomorrow to continue it. But he's not a social... See, busted can of biscuits, but that goes out the window. He's not a social recluse if he's running, hey Willow, if he's running a drug trade, or if he's on this militia, or he's dealing with these drug people, he didn't have to do it. You can make meth. A lot of dealers don't do it. Hey, Yarn, a lot of dealers don't do it. Most smart dealers will never do their own drugs. They'll sell it, but they'll never do it. So you can't make money if you're doing your own dope. But I gotta go. I'll see you guys in a few hours. Let me get some sleep after I drop him off, and I will see you guys later. Peace.